Good evening, Satnam. Probably some of you have never seen me like this before, so welcome. My name is Lana Labonte. My spiritual name is Sundari Kiran Kaur. And so a lot of people don't know very much about spiritual names, but it's another way to also tap into the energy of the essence of your soul and why you came to be here on this planet, in this life, this amazing place that we inhabit. I mean, really, it's such an amazing miracle to be here. During these times of what appear to be chaos are so much more phenomenal. I mean, really, we can fixate on all the media, which is what I call propaganda, and it takes you out of the magic of being right here, right now. Or you can really, really fine-tune and hone in your gifts, because that's really why you came here, okay? We have been born into this life form not to be caught up in distractions, not to be drawn into drama that doesn't serve, that we're here to uplift, inspire, support, and empower one another. We're here to have fun. We're here to play, to be in joy, right? There's so much that we take for granted, that just taking a little time out of your day to sit with gratitude and appreciation for all you have and the blessings in all of your life, the blessings in your lessons and experiences, the blessings that are right in front of your eyes. Bringing it back to the present moment, breathing it back into your life, breathing in the prana, the life force, right? This is the simplicity. It's here, right now. The question is whether or not you are, or if your mind is taking you into other directions, right? It's so easy. Have you ever seen that caricature, the cartoon, where it's a picture of this, what the thoughts are going on in the person's mind, and it's all this squiggly craziness, right? And the reality is that we need to bring ourselves back in, breathe into the moment, long, deep belly breathing. I mean, down deep into your pelvic floor and expanding. Most of us are so caught up in stress, tension, dis-ease, that we barely even get our breath down this far, let alone here. And that when we start to breathe fully, deeply into the pelvic floor, it starts to awaken. And yes, it's going to bring up some old stuff that's been pushed down and suppressed, right? The left lung houses grief. So especially if you're somebody who has not dealt with suffering, traumas, griefs in your life, this is going to bring the things up that you have been pushing away. And it's okay. And that's what I'm here to tell you. You're meant to be here in the moment. And sometimes you got to go back and heal. You've got to feel it to heal it. And allow yourself to embrace every emotion that comes to surface. Because that is your body's signal that certain things have been stuck. Energy in motion. Energy is supposed to move continually. Emotion. It's meant to be felt, not ignored. And you can honor it by allowing it. If you need to cry, you need to scream, you want to jump up in joy, you want to, hallelujah, you want to sing. Whatever it is that comes from inspiration, the spirit within, you feel inspired to be, to do. Honor it. Sit with it. Grab yourself a journal. Start really delving and going deep. Start learning yourself, learning about who you are, and being you, true to you. You be you. It's when you accept every aspect of yourself that self-love starts becoming cultured and, nurtured, and it's like, wow, you start to tap into the inner child. Hi, Jennifer. Happy Sunday. Soulful Sunday to you, right? We're meant to be here in joy, so we need to sometimes go back to the old stuff and clear it. In order to clear it, love you too, Lynn. You need to sit with it sometimes and just go, okay, if it's still a trigger, it's because it was suppressed and it was never fully felt, so that the movement of the energy could continue, that momentum. Energy is supposed to stay in motion, and when we try to stick it off to the side and it gets stuck and lodged in our body, creates all that dis-ease, doesn't it? It's so true. The mind is what creates. And so we need to also question it, because we're like, hey, wait a minute, why am I getting so anxious? Why am I getting so depressed? What is that all about? How's that serving me? And the last time we were here, where did I end up? And let the thoughts go through. Let it go on a monkey train. You want to jump on the train and just do. Okay, yeah, how's that going? But be the observer, not a reactor. Because sometimes those thoughts, and I've experienced this, so I speak from experience when I talk about this. I couldn't know it any other way, but through my own personal experience. That I know when I've watched my thoughts, and I'm like, here we go again. I've been down that road. Now let me just observe it and question it. And what's that trying to tell me about myself? In this moment, what can I glean? Where did that come from? What needs to be attended to, right? Thanks for sharing, Tom. Hi, Miles. How are you, dear? Sharing is caring. Hit the share button, invite your friends. I'm telling you, you never know whose life you're going to touch. And this is for you. And when you click the share, it's sharing a part of you, a piece of you. And I like to say, when I share pieces of myself, you get the best of me. Because truly, as we spread the love and we share it to others, they also get an inner glimmer of themselves, right? And that's what this is all about, is really tuning into who we are, learning our body's language, learning what it is that we may have forgotten about, tuning and tapping back into that inner child that feels abandoned. Many of us have, I had a tough childhood, I was molested, I was beaten, I was berated, right? We've all had something happen to us. If some of you have seen some of my videos, my sisters and I went through a molestation with a sex offender. But you know what? It's not who I am. But what it is an experience I had. And if I'm supposed to hold on to that, that doesn't make me a better person. It keeps me stuck and leashed to a past that I really do refuse to repeat, because it just shows me to have compassion and understanding for myself first and others who have been through that. And to understand that we have experiences in life that are meant to give us the strength within to see the blessing in the experiences, because there's a silver lining in everything. Nothing is meant to pull you down and keep you down. And if you have one experience that you're so attached to, it's time to let that go. So what is in the past should stay in the past, because otherwise you're stuck in the past with it. And you can't continue to be in the present moment if you're stuck in the past or trying to launch forward into the future, right? Anxiety is thinking too much about stuff that hasn't even happened, nor is even real. It's an illusion. Even some of the stuff we think about, actually most of it, what we think about for the past is also filtered through our belief systems. Sometimes that past, we remember it differently than how it actually occurred. And every time you retell your story, you're telling it differently than the first time in the original occurrence of when it happened. I watched an amazing, I think it was a TED Talk, where they talked about how every time you tell a story, Hi, Haya. Hi, honey. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for joining, beautiful lovelies. I love you. Every time you tell a story, you're telling it according to the last time you told the story, not from the original occurrence, which means if you forgot a detail or you skewed the way the story really truly unfolded, you only remember that point. And what that means is you're rewriting the story as you go along. Think about that. So every time you think you need to go and tell your story as if it's right now and repeat it because you're looking for validation, right? Thank you, Sophie. Thank you. What you're really doing is also reliving it. So here's your opportunity to rewrite your story. When you show up for you, which is what you're doing right now, I mean, you're tuning in, and that's half the battle, and I love you for that, and I honor and see you for doing that, right? When you show up for you, you have the opportunity that when the thoughts come in, when the stories come back, to rewrite them, to change them, to shift them. If you're in a bad mood, easy, sounds easy. At the time you're in a bad mood, chances are you're not thinking about how I'm going to shift this. You're thinking constantly about that, and then it just picks up more negative stuff, right? It's like, let me just throw more in my backpack of misery, right? And it gets heavy, and it doesn't feel good. But you can choose at any time to shift that. It's just the question of whether or not you're willing to. Because sometimes misery likes company, and that ego, it can be so strong, I can attest to this, that it just continues to get stuck in those stories. And when it's stuck in those stories, it's like, yeah, I feel crappy, so I might as well add more to that. Let me just grab that other situation. Yeah, that was crappy, and that was crappy, and then you end up going out the door, and what do? You attract more crappy, right? I had a horrible day. Imagine that. You started out horrible. Never walk out your front door until you have put yourself in the state that you're going to attract the magic and the miracle that really truly is in the moment. And sometimes you have to, again, and I will say this forever and ever and a day, bring it back to the breath. When you catch your mind going in that crazy tailspin, always come back to the breath. Breathing fully into your pelvic floor, expanding up through the belly. The diaphragm, the chest lifting up through the clavicle, and then exhaling, it starts up, down, right? It's like, because we're always either expanding or contracting at all times. So when we're expanding, we want to spread the love and let all that pranic life force enter every cell of our body, right? And when we contract and we exhale, allow yourself to draw in all the beauty and the miracles and the blessings. It's this awareness, this mindfulness that will bring us back to the present moment, and the breath will do it. It's when you catch yourself, and when the more you do this, you become the witness, and when you catch your mind and you're like, oh, there I go again, which typically when you're in a bad mood, you catch yourself holding your breath, which is why it's so key to always tap back into the prana, the life force. That breath is the one thing you need to survive and to live in this human form. If you have nothing else, if you don't have food, you don't have water, and there are breatharians, they live on the breath alone. No food, no water. The one thing we all have, nobody can ever take away from you, is your power center, your breath, your thoughts. That's yours. When you master the breath, you master your mind, you master your life. That's powerful. But it all starts with the choice and you showing up and becoming the observer, becoming the witness. So how is everyone on this Soulful Sunday? I felt really compelled and have been wanting to do this. Hi, Ann, honey. I've been wanting to do a yoga meditation and practice for all of you. It's been a while, and I haven't done this in probably since we did our bubble bath meditations. Thank you, Trina, for sharing. I appreciate you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Trina, honey. And for me, this is one of my many passions. So as I was stating, my name is Lana A. My middle name's Anne. I say Lana A. Labonte. Labonte is French for goodness. It actually means overall wellness of being. It's mind, body, soul connection, like in balance. Wellness is about being balanced in all aspects of our lives, right? And so I always loved my name because it's so unique, and there is no other Lana A. Labonte. Although I recently learned there is one, Lana Labonte, but that's her married given name. Married name, not her given name. And so when I was going through my Kundalini Yoga teacher training, I did not. Hi, Wendy and Lori. How are you? I did not request one. Thank you, Lynn, for sharing. I did not request a spiritual name because I was so content and felt my name was given to me, and it really resonated because I've always been about health and wellness since I was young, and really about spreading love, and that's how I feel my name has resonated. So a couple years later, I decided, I think I'm ready to see what is it that my soul also came into this life with. And so a spiritual name, and I had chosen one during my Hatha Vinyasa training back in 2011, was something that, hi Lucy, hun. Let's play and get this chat popping. I love that, Tom. So when I finally did receive my name, and I was kind of like the Kundalini, based on your numerology, I was kind of like nervous and excited because what if I didn't like it, and what if, there's the mind, right? So I had to sit with it. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing. I appreciate you. And so I had all that mind chatter, and I was like, well, honestly, my biggest concern is what if I didn't like the way it sounded? There's some words out there, sometimes you don't like the sound of them, or you don't like the way they look. And I knew some people had some beautiful spiritual names and the translation, because there's a translation with each name. Each one of us, whether given at your birth or chosen throughout your life, it actually tells you about yourself. It supports the energy of why you're here, which is why it's very powerful that if you don't like your name, you should consider looking for something that resonates more strongly with you. So when I received my name, and I'm going to tell you that my two main teachers throughout my trainings, both Kundalini Yoga Level 1 and also several of the Kundalini Yoga teacher trainings for the Level 2s and everything else I've been doing for workshops and such. I love that. Are Sundar Kaur and Kiran Kaur. And so when I received my name, I was kind of like, wow. It was like being given an even more amazing gift and blessing, because my given name I really resonated with. But then when I received Sundari Kiran Kaur, I was like, wow. I not only received this beautiful name that translates to the lioness, the princess, that radiates the love of God like a beam of light, the beauty of God. So we tend to think in terms of beauty as physical, but beauty is love. Beauty is that, wow, and it's like a beam of light in your face. You can't miss it. That is the translation of Sundari Kiran Kaur. And so to hear that, it's the same as Sundar and Kiran, spelled differently, but the words, the names, are exactly like I felt like I was birthed from my teachers. So to me, that was quite the honor and the gift to receive. And I was just like, oh, how sweet, how sweet, how sweet. So I was so excited to share that with the both of them. Hi, Melissa, honey. I see you're flooded out there in Texas. I hope you're safe. I'm glad you're doing well, and it doesn't look like it entered your house. Good thing. And so, like I said, I challenge each and every one of you who doesn't like their given name to consider looking for something that really supports what it is you feel you're here in this world to do. I know Lucy, your given name is Luce, which means light, right? Hi, Diana, beautiful. And light, for example, that means you're meant to shine. That means that whatever you do, you're going to inspire others because people are touched by the light, right? But you have to also be true to you. So allowing that inner light to shine, right? So I'm super, super excited to share this particular meditation with you. The first thing I want you all to do, though, is to find yourself a nice, comfortable position. I haven't moved yet, but I'm going to because I need to stretch out my legs. We're going to tune in first, and then I'm going to go into more explanation, okay? So we do a tune in Kundalini Yoga so that we connect to the divine, the light, the inner guru, because we are connected to all that is. We are all one. Even if we see things in concrete, contrasted forms, we really are all connected, and you can't mistake. There is always some sensation around you. You feel things that you can't explain. And all that is doing is that's revalidating that energy's around in constant motion. Hi, Marsha, how are you? So we tune in with the Adi mantra. It's Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. We do it on one breath. We do it 3 to 5 times. It's going to sound like this. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Pulling in at the navel point as you're pressing the air out, and the air is coming out when you're chanting the mantra, okay? What I like to remind everyone is it's extremely important to have the proper alignment. Even if you have to sit in a chair, that's perfectly fine. Propping your butt up will also create the natural curve where there's a slight curve in the lower back because we're not meant to be straight up. We do have natural curves in our spine. Your legs should be touching the floor. There should be nothing keeping your legs like this. Like I see people in yoga classes like this. That's creating tension up in the pelvic area. It's pulling in tight on the psoas, the piriformis. All these different muscles become contracted. It also wears on the lower back. So if you have lower back pain, that's one of the reasons. So if you're sitting like this, you're actually in tension. You're not in relaxation, right? So we're going to shift that. You want to prop your butt up, bring your legs into a nice, easy seated position, whether you're in a chair, whether you're sitting on the floor, and just feel comfortable where you're at, right? How good, Melissa. I'm glad. And so the alignment of the spine is so that you stack each vertebrae over one another. The ears will be over the shoulders will be over the hips, right? So you get this nice proper alignment. Sometimes people hold their head up, sometimes they jut it forward, sometimes they're stuck back here. You want a proper alignment. I always like to say, just use 2 fingers and just align your ears over your shoulders, right? Yes. Ooh, that's okay, Diana. You do what you can do, and if not today, you can do it on another day, right? And you know what? Fake it till you make it is what we say in Kundalini Yoga. If you imagine in your mind's eye, closing your eyes, that you're doing the perfect posture, and sometimes in this Kriya we're going to have our eyes open. It's like the body responds as if you're doing it. They do visual techniques and routines, fitness professionals. They do visual exercises to improve themselves. Hi, Sherry, how are you? It's amazing the stuff that you don't realize, right? Thank you, Sarah, for sharing. I appreciate you. So imagining in your mind's eye is one of the keys. And again, honoring your body and listening to it. And again, a journal is always helpful because you can write notes about how these are going to make you feel. When something comes through, you may want to write it down. Hi, Sandra. How are you, dear? Yay. So what I like to have everyone do is to really come into a nice, easy seated position. Shoulders back, roll the shoulders up and back. You want your shoulder blades to glide together, right? Because you're lifting up through the chest, right? Hi, Lisa and Jamie. And as you're doing this, chin is slightly tucked, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. We're going to rub the hands together and close your eyes down. Focus in and up at the third eye point between the eyebrows. Start breathing deeply into your pelvic floor, expanding the belly up through the diaphragm. The chest is lifting. And then exhaling, the chest lowers, the diaphragm flattens, the belly pulls in at the navel point. Really start to tune into your body, any sensations of pain you may have, or tension, or stiffness. And because we're warming up these hands, we're creating this natural healing energy, this friction, that when you take those hands, you place them on those areas of tension and breathe into those spaces, because you are all natural healers. Send that prana, healing life force, to those areas. Focus the breath in any areas of tension you may have. And then bring the hands to heart center. Thumbs in and up at the sternum point, right in between that little notch in between your breastbone. We're going to inhale 3 times before we even do the Adi Mantra to synchronize the breath. So inhale, exhale, inhale, inhale last time. And on the next inhale, we'll chant the Adi Mantra. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale together. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Om Namo Gurudev Namo. One more time. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale, suspend the breath. Exhale, release the hands down, hands on the knees. And I want you to start doing a Sufi grind. So rotating around like a mortar and a pestle, but you're going to keep your head square over your hips as much as possible, because you're really working to flex the spine in this one. You want to flex around the back. You're reaching, pulling the arms. You're using the hands to propel you around, right? So you inhale forward, exhale back, rounding the back, opening up the side body as you come around. Inhale forward, exhale, you're opening up in between each of the ribs, opening up the rib cage and the chest and the back. You know, we tend to take for granted our poor bodies. They sit too much, they stay in the same postures too long. And we need to move that fascia because it gets sticky and stuck, right? And first thing you wake up in the morning, that fascia needs to be released. Because our issues lying in our tissues means we need to move that body. Move it around. Get it flexible. You're only as young as your spine is flexible, people. So bring it to center. Inhale. And change directions. Go on the other side. You may notice that turning, twisting like this in the opposite direction opens up. Wow, check that out. I'm feeling some different sensations going in the other direction. Keeping your eyes closed down, really feeling into it, really opening up. You'll feel it along in the hips, sides. You're massaging your organs. We don't move our bodies enough, right? Hi, Jamie. Your hips and back feel like jelly, huh, Tom? It feels good to move the body, doesn't it? And this is so easy and gentle. We're not trying to, sometimes you think, oh, I can't do exercises. You can do all sorts of stuff. You just got to rewrite that story because that's just a story your mind is telling you. And when it's telling you the story, the body's just responding and saying, yeah, you're right, I'll listen to you. But meanwhile, the body is actually much wiser, and you should start tapping in and listening to it, right? You have to tap into the body's wisdom. Inhale to center. Exhale. And so the next one, you're going to place your hands on the front of your shins, right? Or the front foot and the whatever leg is forward, right? And you're going to inhale forward, pulling the chest forward. Exhale around the back. And try to keep the head level with the floor. No flip-flopping of the head, but inhale forward, exhale back. And really like... Inhale deeply and really feel it. Like use that breath to propel you. And then in your mind's eye and your mind think, chant that mantra. Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam. Inhale to center. Exhale, release. Okay, I already know what this will do if I keep that on. Now you're going to take your hands, thumbs in the back, arms are going to be level with the floor, right? I might not look level with the floor because of the camera angle, but you're going to inhale and twist to the left, exhale, twist to the right. You want to keep your head centered. It's not turning the head, you're just turning the body. We're opening up the spine here. Hi, Sandra. There you go. Hey, you put it out there, you receive it. Here it is. So inhaling to the left, exhaling right. And again, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Inhale to center. Exhale the arms down. Hi Melinda. Hey Wendy. Thank you for joining. And now we're going to turn our heads to the left and then to the right. Again, this is all working up the spine. Okay, so inhale left. Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Inhale to center. Exhale, release. Just sit here for a moment. I want you to recognize these body sensations, the energy moving up that spine. Now when you're ready, I want you to extend the legs. And then windshield wiper the feet, because that's going to open up the hip creases, the hip area, the pelvic area. I tell you what, most of us have problems reaching forward and bending forward. It's because the lower back is so tight, right? Right? Yeah. I'm telling you, Sandra. So, the key is, now you can't necessarily, there's my feet, so I'm going to try to make it so you can see my feet. And that you're, again, always lifting up. Thank you, Lynn, for sharing again. You're always lifting up through the heart. Today you may only be able to bend this far forward. Your actual bend should be a fold at the hip creases. It shouldn't be this. This is not a folding forward. That's a, just, what's the word? That's a flopping forward, right? And you want to maintain the integrity of your spine, because this is also the hamstrings. It's a combination of the hamstrings, the lower back, the pelvic floor, because the strong abdominals and the strong hamstrings can also be overly tightened, right? And that'll pull on the lower back, the piriformis, the psoas muscles, you know, so is hell when it's too tight. Right? Hi, Asha. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Charlie girl. I like that name. That's fun. We're going to take the peace fingers. Right? Peace, baby. Peace. Okay? We're going to wrap those babies around our big toes. And we're going to use the thumbs and press on the big toenails, because that's going to stimulate the pituitary and the thymus. Who'da thunk? Right? It is being recorded, Sophie, so there's always going to be the playback. That's the beauty of live, is you can come back and play again and again, as many times as you like. That's why sharing is caring. You never know. Thank you, Diana, for sharing. So again, there's the ideal and there's the real. Today you may be only able to go this far forward, and that's okay. As you're doing this, the more you do it, you're building up momentum, and your body is also going, ooh, new patterns, right? This is another interesting thing. It's rewiring the neurons in your brain when you do something. The more you do it over and over again. And then when you cross the hemispheres of the brain, when you do twists and such, you're actually remapping and rewiring and bringing everything back into balance, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to inhale up. Again, remember, inhale, chant Sat in your mind's eye. Exhale, Nam, forward, right? And so, it's perfect if you're in a chair. Nothing wrong with doing it in a chair too, right? So if you're in a chair just by chance, just, again, you may just go like this, you know? You might have your hands on your knees, and it's all perfect. Imagining in your mind's eye is going to also give the body still some benefit. And that's the key, not to beat yourself up and say, oh, I can't do this, and walk away. It's showing up and putting forth the effort, even if it's mental, right? Choose it. So peace fingers, ideally, is here. If you're here, that's okay too. You will find you inhale up, you exhale forward, that you come further each time you exhale forward. So begin. Inhale up. Extending through the heart. Again, it's an elongation of the spine, not a folding over and just flopping down. Hi, Yvette. Thanks for joining, beautiful. Pressing on those big toenails. You are stimulating the glands. It's so juicy. It's excreting happy hormones. That's what regulates you, baby. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the neck muscles. Relax any tension you may have built up doing this. Inhale up. Exhale, I want you to just relax and allow your body to fold forward and just allow the tension to go and just melt into a forward fold. Let gravity take over. And now slowly coming up. Feels good when you do that sometimes, just to open up the back, right? And so now we're going to go into our Kriya. Sodarshan Chakra Kriya. Which chant words? Are you talking about the Sat, the Nam? So when we chanting in our mind's eye, we're giving the mind a bij mantra. It's like a seed. We're planting the seed. And Sat Nam is the mantra that translates to the truth of all that is. Sat Nam. Truth is my identity, right? So just like when someone says namaste, Sat Nam is the Gurmukhi translation. It's actually the same. Sat Nam. If you flip it, you got Nam Sat. Namaste, right? Crazy cool, right? And so that's why you give your mind something instead of the crazy thoughts that can drop in, right? So what we're going to do is Sodarshan Chakra Kriya, and I'm super excited about this. Thank you, Sandra, for sharing. Truly appreciate you. Thank you, Lexi. What chakra? This Sodarshan Chakra Kriya is so amazing. It's the highest form of yoga in a singular practice that you can do. Yogi Bhajan, who came to the United States back in the late 60s, he brought this amazing technology that was forbidden unless you came from the right family and you followed the right teachers, and it took years to even get one of the teachings that we have access to all that he brought. And there's so many, there's thousands of them. But you know what? You can do just one, and that's going to benefit your life significantly. So this one is one of the 3 that he recommended, that if you did any for the Aquarian age and to go through this life, you really want to heal your life. This is one of the most powerful ones. It's Sodarshan Chakra Kriya. It's Kirtan Kriya. Thank you, Lexi, for sharing. And the third one is Sat Kriya, right? So you've got 3 very powerful Kriyas, and we're going to do Sodarshan Chakra Kriya today. I have done Kirtan Kriya before on a live, and that's one of my favorite. All 3 of these are my favorites anyway. I have a lot of favorites, by the way, so it's very hard for me to say, okay, I say that's my favorite, but then I also have other favorites, right? This particular one will heal your karma. It will clear it. And he also said if you do Kirtan Kriya and Sodarshan Chakra Kriya, for those of us out there who've had a significant amount of partners in our life, it'll also release the cords and clear all of your relationships, right? So if you're trying to still get rid of people out of your life that you feel like they're still lingering energetically, those particular Kriyas, Sodarshan Chakra Kriya and Kirtan Kriya, are very powerful. You start doing those daily. And so when you create a practice, you become devoted and dedicated to yourself. Oh, thank you for that. Appreciate that, Tom. When you dedicate yourself to a practice, and Yogi Bhajan says you should sweat 10 minutes a day, and I'm already getting my sweat on, okay? And you can get a sweat just from meditating, because it's, again, the breath is so powerful. Kundalini Yoga is actually the yoga of awareness through your personal experience. So I may teach you something in this practice right here, guide you through it, but I'm going to have a totally different experience than you are. And it's going to bring stuff up to your psyche, you know. This is meant to clear your psyche, this Sodarshan Chakra Kriya. It will make you more intuitive, more aware, heightened awareness. It will draw in what it is you seek a lot easier than you having to go out and get it, right? This is what I love about Kundalini Yoga, is I have found, and even Yogi Bhajan taught, you know, there's the hard way and the hard way and the easy way. But when you develop yourself in ease, in this graceful presence, which is what this is about, is becoming graceful and being and remaining true to yourself and being graceful in the most ungraceful situations, holding and containing your composure, that you could be saying something to someone and they're like melting because you just flow the essence of your soul, right? It streams through in a way that the people don't just, they hear you, but they hear themselves. That the soul is being spoken through the soul. It's a soul-to-soul interaction as opposed to the egos playing the games, which is what we see so much around us. So this is the beauty and why I've embraced Kundalini Yoga as one of it's my daily practice. Every single morning I get up, and this is my devotion, my dedication to my soul, myself. Have I missed a practice? Yes, I've missed a practice. Do I beat myself up about it? A little here and there. But again, it's also part of the embracing where I'm at all times and honoring that sometimes life happens if I'm traveling. But most of the time I have kept very devoted to my practice. The times that I have missed days, I've actually been doing yoga, and it's been Kundalini Yoga. Like when I go to Lake Wales, I sometimes put my own practice on hold so that I can do other practices while I'm in the space of community. So I may still do a 2-hour practice, but it won't be my dedicated practice. And so, you know, it's kindness with self, right? Exactly, Lynn. That's exactly what it is. It is honoring yourself, honoring your soul. When you make yourself a priority, people will also make you a priority. They will honor you more. When you establish healthy boundaries, you create, this is my dedicative practice every single morning. Or even if it's in the afternoon or the evening, however you fit it into your day. That's the time you carve a way for you to mold yourself into the better, higher being that is your essence, your true soul of who you are, not the physical form as much as the inside job, right? So we're working on rewriting our stories from the inside out instead of others validating and creating this mirage, right? So the truth is you can write your story. You can rewrite all that stuff that's stuck, that you've had problems with. Change the story, because you can do it. It's just a choice. So I'm very excited about sharing Sodarshan Chakra Kriya with you. Some of the other aspects of this is that it balances the 27 facets of life, which is a huge, there's a huge list. I don't remember them all off the top of my head because I took mine to meditation. Was awesome. Hey Ann, I love that. Empower healthy boundaries. It's super, super important. When you establish healthy boundaries, I can tell you right now, be ready for people to lash out at you and just maintain them. Because when you have healthy boundaries, others who don't have healthy boundaries, they will get upset with you holding strong to yours, right? Because then it takes away from them. And how selfish is it that you have healthy boundaries, that you're not thinking of them? That's not selfish whatsoever, right? Craziness. I'm telling you, that mind, it plays all sorts of tricks on us. So, some of the other aspects of this, there's the 27 facets of life and the mental projections, right? The teacher, the healer, the entertainer, the dictator, the professional. There's so many facets. It's crazy cool. So it's going to give you pranic power over the breath too. So be prepared. It's very powerful. And you want to also do this practice with true devotion. You want to place yourself in a state that you treat this practice with reverence, and it will increase your depth, dimensions, caliber, and happiness. Okay? It's going to give you a new start against all odds. I know everybody can really utilize that in this time right now we're living with, right? So, and it cuts through the darkness. So if you're somebody who suffers with anxiety and you really, really want to just cut through that stuff, this is going to, and it's going to bring up some stuff, because I've had several friends who suffered severe anxiety and they broke down doing this, but they cut through what it was that they felt was breaking them down to begin with, right? So it's super powerful. It's going to shift your life. And it's going to establish inner happiness and a state of flow and ecstasy of life. It'll open up your inner universe to relate, co-create, and complete the external universe. Isn't that cool? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Even if you just do 5 minutes a day. We're going to do 11 minutes. He recommends if you can increase it up to 31 or even 62. And yes, the numbers have a lot to do with different things, because it's going to be more powerful the longer you do it. Hi, Brenda, honey. And if you really want to cut through some stuff, you can start out with 2.5 hours or work your way up to 2.5 hours, and you will completely transform your life. My personal teacher, Sundar, did it for 1,000 days, and when she came around her 1,000 days and so we celebrated it, she was sharing that when she got to that time, she was dealing with a lot of things in her personal life. Obviously, that's why we do this. She said that she was like, really? Like, she had all these ahas dropping in and changes, that she was like, things in her family shifted, that she was like, wow. But she was so cute. She was like, are you kidding me? Really? Like 1,000-day drop-ins. And so he recommends you start out with practices 40 days, 90 days, 120 days, 1,000 days. I've been doing several of my morning practices for well over the 1,000 days, actually. I did another live video where I shared my Waheguru Kriya, and I actually have been doing that particular Kriya since the first week of November when I came back from India in 2013. So, I mean, it's totally, totally possible. anything you set your mind to do, you can do, right? Exactly, just like soaking in the bubble bath. You could do this in the bubble bath, but you're going to have to sit upright for it because you want to ensure, so everybody coming into your easy seated position, here's what we're going to do. The key is to have every vertebrae stacked one on top of another. The ears will be over the shoulders. The shoulders, I want you to roll up and glide down the back a couple times. Really massage. Oh my gosh, you know, we hold a lot of tension up in there. You want to make sure you let those shoulder blades glide down the back, lifting up through the heart, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. And the shoulder blades kind of squeeze in together because they're your angel wings, baby. They're gonna open up your heart, right? And you want to spread love. Come from the heart. Most people are a little closed down. They're protective. Emotional center, heart center. It makes a lot of sense, and body language speaks more than you can imagine, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have the left hand in Gyan Mudra, and we're going to focus the eyes at the tip of the nose the whole time during this Kriya. I don't know if you can see it as well, but when you focus at the tip of the nose, arm is going to be as straight as possible. Your other arm will be straight and in Gyan Mudra on the right hand side, on the right. But we're going to inhale through the left nostril. So you'll close off the right nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. This is the left, so I shouldn't be mirroring you. I'm actually going to be opposite you because I have the monitor specifically so that you can see me as I am. You're going to inhale through the left nostril. You're going to, in your mind, you're going to hear the music. It's going to be wah, hey, guru. 3 pumps. Wah, hey, guru. Wah, hey, guru. You're holding the breath. Might be difficult the first few rounds. Depends on your stamina, your ability to take a nice, long, deep breath. I mean, everybody's going to go through this differently. It's going to be 48 unbroken pipes, right? You're going to actually do the navel. It's 16 chants of the Wah Hey Guru. Wah Hey Guru, Wah Hey Guru, Wah Hey Guru. It's going to be 16 times, so it comes out to 16 times 3. That's 48 pumps. And then, and it's pulling it at the navel center. We're not doing any movement of the body, okay? Thank you, Mary. And then you're going to close off, whether you use the pinky or the index finger. You're going to make a U, and you're going to exhale that breath out the right side. You'll get the rhythm down with the music to try to calibrate really where you're going to want to go back into the inhale, because there's enough of a pause in between to get an equal inhale, and then when you switching and exhaling out and then inhaling back in between this, there's enough time to not feel rushed and to get it just on that perfect. And you may have to do this several times before you get in line with the music and the pumping of the navel and the breath. It sounds like a lot, but that's the whole point. You got to keep the mind busy and the body moving, right? So, I have a little kink in my neck. So find yourself nice and comfortable. Anything else? At the very end, we're going to inhale and hold the breath. And then we're going to exhale it. And then we're going to stretch the arms up. And we're going to shake, 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 shake. So I'm giving you the heads up. That's the end of it, right? We're going to do that for a whole minute of moving the energy so it can spread throughout the whole body. And then I'm just going to bring you back into sitting in easy seated position so you can just feel the energy integrate in your body after doing that Kriya, okay? Are you ready? Y'all ready for this? Okay, so I'm going to start the music. I'm going to tell you to inhale through the right. You're going to close off the right nostril and inhale through the left. We're ready now. Make sure the music is turned up. You should hear this fine. And I can't believe I totally forgot my water. Hold that thought. Because I needed to drink something. I hope y'all have been hydrating the whole time I've been talking. I didn't even realize how much time had passed. But there's so much juicy, juicy information with all this that goes along with it. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Left arm straight on the knee. You're going to put the hand in Gyan Mudra. Gyan Mudra, again, is the fingertips touching. The right hand, I want you to have all fingers straight up, just like an antenna. Fingers together. Close off the right nostril. And when I tell you, we're going to inhale through the right. You're going to inhale through the left and exhale out the right. We're going to hold the breath and pump the navel. Then at the end of the 16 chants of the mantra and the pumping, the 48 pumps, you're going to exhale out the right. Inhale. Focus at the tip of the nose with the eyes. Exhale. Inhale. Also make sure you have a slight neck lock. Inhale, suspend the breath. Exhale. Stretch the arms up high and shake, 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 shake it out. Disperse that energy. Move every part of your body. Really integrate all that. Got to get that prana throughout. It's how you move that stuck energy. Really, really open up all the side body, the back, the chest. Keep the arms up overhead. Last 15 seconds. Keep going. It's like shaking out all that crap that no longer serves. Now inhale, stretch it up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Exhale, allow those hands to come slowly down your sides. Come into easy seated position. Hands in Gyan Mudra. Index and thumbs touching. And just feel your body. Feel the energy moving. See how it awakened within you. As you're ready, you can open your eyes. If anybody has any questions out there, I'm sure there's many out there have never tried this before. I know Diana has done it. I was doing this off and on over the years. I've done it 31 minutes. I've done 62 minutes, but as part of my daily practice. At one point for my daily practice, I was up over 3 hours a day. And I found myself a little too hardcore, because I can do that. I can be one extreme or the other. All in hardcore. That's how I started out when I went plant-based and I was eating mostly raw vegan. And so, yeah, I do that. Sometimes I do that maybe just to see what was, you just go in, right? And then to just back off and go, okay, now I've experienced it, and now I can lighten up, right? I'm serious, Sherry. I was doing 3-hour practices, 3+ hour practices, and it was 31 minutes of Sodarshan Chakra Kriya, 31 minutes of Kirtan Kriya. So that in itself is over an hour, plus my Waheguru Kriya, which is about half an hour. Plus I think I had long Ekankars, 37.5 minutes. I mean, seriously, I can rack them up because they're so powerful. And when you want to change your life and you start doing these practices, you see it in your life and you're like, oh, I want to add more to it, right? Oh, thank you, Tom. And so for me, like when I see something's working, or if I know, because the Kundalini Kriyas are basically recipes, and there's a Kriya for everything. There's a Kriya for how to be more heard, how to balance your chakras, how to, the elimination system so that you're going to the bathroom, right? How to, let's say, what if you don't know what to do? There's actually a Kriya for what to do if you don't know what to do. And there's also a Kriya to sleep better at night. A lot of this is breath work anyway, but it's different forms. And the powerful breath is really you mastering the inner self, right? Because that's what's fueling you is your breath, the prana, the life force. The more you build up that prana, because Yogi Bhajan said that we came into this life with a certain number of breaths. When you do breath of fire, the pumping, if you do breath of fire for 5 minutes, that's considered one breath. Plus, it's stimulating your digestive system. It's oxygenating your blood. It's also boosting your immune system, gives you a burst of energy, resets your whole inner psyche, because if you're ticked off or you're sleepy and you need some energy, breath of fire can do all sorts of goodies. This one here, when you curl your hands in together, thumbs up, like you're plugging into the let's say a light socket, right, or circuit, right? You do 60-degree angles, and you do breath of fire. It's called ego eradicator, because you need to eradicate that ego and work it as you're mastering your mind, right? Because the ego is really mastering you most of the times, right? So I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm telling you, this is a beautiful, if you could incorporate this for 5 minutes out of your day or 11 minutes out of your day, or if you really want to go, hardcore like I've done, 31, 62, 2.5 hours, I highly recommend it because it's just absolutely divine and perfect. So, if there's no questions out there, I thought I saw something up here, but thank you, Lexi. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out and ask me in a message or even on this particular post, this video. I will be doing more of these. I haven't done them in a while, but I love to share my practice. I love to share this amazing Kundalini Yoga and the teachings. And yeah, so we're going to tune out. We're going to sing the Long Time Sunshine song, which is actually an Irish blessing. It comes from a song in Ireland. And he just loved it so much. Yes, Sophie, see? You put it out there and you receive it. This is the beauty, and I truly believe in the power of, manifestation. Whatever you think you can, you perceive you can achieve. Totally true. Thank you, Anne. So we're going to bring our hands back to heart center. Thumbs at the sternum, that little notch. And we're going to sing the Long Time Sunshine song. And it's may the long time sun shine upon you. All love around you, surround you. All love surround you. Gosh, I'm tongue-tied and so excited, right? May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. We sing it 3 times through. Once for yourself, once for your loved ones, and then once for all of creation and the universe and the planets and everything that exists. So, and then we're going to close out with a long Satnam. Okay? So inhale to begin. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light And a quote from Yogi Bhajan. You're drawn to pranayama. Oh, so I'm telling you, you can't get enough of the good pranic breath. This is one of my favorite quotes right here. Your mind is your servant, your body is your vehicle, and your soul is your residence. Body is not all, mind is not all, spirit is not all. All three make the sense. Sat Nam, everyone. Thank you for showing up, spreading the love. I love you all. Catch you later. Happy Soulful Sunday. Keep it raw, stay rad.